Hello and welcome to Speak Out Saturday. You know, it's been a few, it's been a month or so since I've made a video. And I apologize for that. I've had a lot going on, a lot of things I've been trying to figure out and trying to work through my emotions. And I didn't think it was fair for me to get on Facebook and start talking about things that I couldn't even understand or comprehend myself. So I've taken some time away to try to sort through these. I'm not going to go into detail because, I'm not spreading drama or gossip. I'm just going to kind of talk about where my mind's been and what's kept me away. And that's the problem. It's kept me away from doing what I know God called me to do. I don't understand why He called me to do it because I'm definitely not equipped for this. But here we are. So I have been full of confusion, anger, bitterness, sadness. And I wouldn't call it depression because it's not something that I just walked around and do. It was something that happened, and then there was triggers. And I didn't know how to deal with it. I still don't know how to deal with it, but I'm finding peace. I'm finding peace in the Bible. I'm finding peace in the book I'm reading of Uninvited. If y'all don't know who that is, it's Lisa Tueresk, I think is how you say her last name. She's a fantastic author, and I'm going to quote some of the things she put in the book. Starting with how I felt and couldn't explain it, but she pretty much sums it up. So she says in the book, she says, when someone of great significance in our lives makes us feel like our belonging is more of a question mark than a security blanket, we become very sensitive to even the slightest hint of rejection. The wound is reopened, and rejection's infection, it sets in. And some of y'all are probably thinking, I have no clue what that means. Well, I'm going to assume that you grew up with a happy, wholesome childhood and didn't have any problems or concerns. But for the other ones of us who, grew up with being bullied or being the conversation of gossip and rumors and lies, or those that grew up in a home that you didn't always feel like you were loved. You were always felt that you were insecure, and sometimes, in cases, even abandoned, left alone. Well, those little seeds that were planted, those stay with you. They grow, and they grow over the years as it happens repeatedly, because it's not just a one-time thing. Let's face it. It grows, and it makes a person become insecure. A person shy away from most things. A person that doubts who they are or who they could be. Which can leave you questioning everything and everyone around you. But then you grow up. You become an adult. You figure out who you are, or at least you think you figure out who you are, and you go on about your life. And for like me, you find things to cope. It's no lie. I've made videos about my past. I'm not going to hide back from it. That's how I dealt with things. And then I got to a point where I finally felt secure. I was finally happy. I was understanding what the meaning of unconditional love really was. And in a flash, I felt like it was taken away. And I couldn't understand it, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. So I hid out, become a hermit. Put myself into my Bible. Did a lot of crying, a lot of praying, a lot more crying. And then I got and am silent and still. For the first time in my life, I'm still. And I will have to say, it's a very lonely place. Because I feel like that I'm here and I've got to figure this out. It's just me and you, God. Got to figure this out. I don't like this situation. I don't like this feeling. It brings back too many memories that I don't want to even think of anymore. But here we are, silent and still. And it's in this silence that I've started to realize that God's never left me, like ever. He's always been there. He was there as a child. He was there as a teenager. He was there as a young adult. He was there holding my hand while I was high as a kite. And he's here right now with me. You see, we can read our Bible all day long and still walk away not understanding one word in it. I've had to study. And it will take you down a whole other form of rabbit hole. You'll start in one chapter in the Old Testament and end up in another chapter in the New Testament, and then you're back into the Old Testament. Because every bit of it goes as one. You just have to study, find it. But it's been in between all of this studying and trying to find my answers, to which I still haven't. But I did find myself. And I realized that I can't let the actions or the inactions of someone else control me. I can't let what somebody says to me destroy me. Because at the end of the day, my worth, my identity is not in anybody else. It's in the Lord. And as long as I'll sit still and listen, he speaks. And oh, let me tell you, God can speak to you through anything. It can be a commercial, it could be a TV show, it could be something on the radio, it could be in a book you read, it could be through a conversation you're having or over here. God will speak to you. You just have to be quiet enough to hear him. I truly feel like God has put me through everything I've been through recently to remind me of who I was, so he can remove all that from me. It's been painful, I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I've done a lot of crying. And there's been things, and there's things now that I don't understand. But I'm moving forward. Because, well, I wasn't built to look back. I wasn't built to dwell on the past. I was made to move forward, to look forward. Because he is in front of us. He's guiding every step I make. So in this book, Uninvited, like I said, God talks to us in the craziest ways. But it's the most helpful, and I think it's the ways that we'll understand so we get the message clearly. I got up this morning. I made my post. By the way, it's Wednesday. It's not even Saturday. But God put it on my heart. I need to do the video today because today I'm finally clear-headed. I was doing some Bible reading, and then I went to my book. And I read all the way through the chapter. And I made lots of notes. I looked up Bible verses that were referenced in the book. And it wasn't until the end I come across this that opened my eyes wide up. And it says this: what if this opportunity wasn't really taken away from me? What if I was being set apart for something else? So, in that, I can be all for giving this opportunity to her. I can be all for giving God the trust he so absolutely deserves. I can be all for giving myself space to back down, back away, and back off. All the crazy emotions stealing my attention from the other gifts right in front of me today. Instead of rejection, I can actually rejoice. The assignment wasn't meant for me. When when I am for giving, I set us both up for winning. She gets the assignment she was made to carry, and I'm freed up for other better suited assignments tailor made for me. And neither of us get caught up in the wake of weird emotions stemming from me feeling rejected and bitter. That really hit home because I realized that it doesn't really even matter. None of it matters. I know my place. I know where I'm supposed to be. And I know God has a purpose that he made just for me. Yes, he started with these videos and these posts trying to get the word out. I have absolutely no idea why, because, well, the reality of it is, I'm not equipped for this. He must think that I'm a lot stronger than I believe I am, is all I can say. But that clarity I have felt only come because I did get still enough to listen. I did put my faith in him because, well, I had nowhere else to put it. I had no other way to turn. I did what I knew I had to do and was trust him. And he gave me the answers I was looking for. Didn't come from the Bible, didn't come from talking to other people or spreading gossip or rumors. It came from a book. And it hit me right here. So anybody that's out there handling or dealing or trying to control a situation or beating themselves up because it didn't work out the way that they had planned it, let me remind you, we don't plan our lives. God does. We're just here for his purpose. And as long as we are looking forward and following him, that path will be clear. He makes sure of that. Y'all have a blessed Saturday.